way, man, a G to the end.
G. It's Global Esports versus Full Sense.
Bigger than wrestler. Gal in the front going on extra. Some of them come, some of them extra. Mosh pit crew holding the center. Big long beard, big black temper.
Storm would have been the main reason they won the round, and he did leave Yudoton down to one hit by the Sheriff, which meant he couldn't fire a showstopper, so the impact was there, but it was everybody else. Great defense by Jit Boys as well, buying that extra time, as you said. The first round found, but it means nothing unless we can back it up with another. As we said, GE, they're going to be buying and buying again. The defensive side needs to have a lot of solutions up their sleeve. Last round worked. This one, it's a start from Primi. Javi down and out of the round right away, but they're fleeing. The spike's being taken to the other side of the map. Not a ton of control there for GE, but from what we can see of Full Sense, they've left the B side open, taking B main instead. I thought Autumn would take a bit longer before showing his hand.
Not particularly pretty. The mid-ball buying time having to be broken. One of the new factors that GE have to deal with. The timing not working out for Cruz though. Crystal able to turn things back again. The positioning, though, from Leviathan is perfect.
Their operator at this one, if he tucks in, that weapon is going to be his. They're waiting for the Nightfall to come in. That's going to reveal Kahlua for sure, but he's got support, and that slow buys all the time Full Sense need. No chance for G to scale on the back of the ultimate. 30 seconds now to make it to the site. They've got to up the pace. They thought they'd find an easier A site, less heavily defended, but they were dead wrong, and now they're just dead! Jit Boys locking down heaven, and it is a clean and clinical round from Full Sense.
Blocking up top, the slow, forcing them into an awkward position, and then even just breaking a gap in the walls and spamming shots into the faces of opponents. It's compositional change for Jit Boys.
Ready to fight, and one holding a paranoia. The second that they step into Cruz angle, paranoia is coming. Well, not when he stood there, but when he stood here.
If you want to know how confident they are in Jit Boys Sage, he is solo A, they have 3 heaven, and then they have 1 operator on the B side, and instead, it seems like they've got the perfect read. G walking straight into a stacked up heaven. And that's where they might be sent fairly soon this time.
Want to blitz in. There's always something waiting on the other side. Last round and in a couple, it's been the slow for Full Sense. It's been the wall from Sage, but GE from pushing up to a fight that seemed possible to avoid. And up on top of the wall, I think Jit Boys got spotted. Okay, there's the pick for Patman for GE.
Yeah, I think as well, Patman has the read that, okay, if Jit Boys is here, no one else is. He immediately TPs up. Cruz under pressure, but Kahlua already getting rid of Autumn. Autumn's been having a rough time so far, but Patman's impact in this round cannot be understated. Getting rid of the man atop the wall, taking over the spawn control, and still battling for it. It does, however, send them towards Primi. Now Patman's been dealt with as well. Kahlua on another. It is everybody stepping up for Full Sense, and all that is left is Yudotan facing off against his rival duelist, and he will manage to win. That leaves in the plant. His opponent starting to wrap around from heaven. It's a little bit disjointed, but it's not going to work out. I think them versus their regional rivals against people that, if you look at the coaching staff, they probably even called family at a time. They are feeling comfortable. Trades back immediately. It's turned into a game of deathmatch in middle. And while Cruz has gone unchecked, just hiding, lurking within the darkness, and everything's coming up for Full Sense in this moment. Well, he does have a res available, but who is an option to even res? It's whether or not he can even get out of this position.
Oh, I don't think he can. Maybe he can, and he can heal himself back up as well. Still, the res won't be possible there, but I think they're going for it in B main.
He's going for a jumping kill.
So we end up back into a 3v3. That's a little bit of a mistake from Full Sense. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite them. They've still got Primi holding the cross, but the first shot doesn't land. He's a little late on the second as well. They've made it through. They've avoided the main danger, at least for now, but Primi's waiting for another chance. He misses a second time. This could be the downfall of him. The shorty's out though. Primi survives that little bit longer. He's going for a long-range shorty kill, knowing that Crystal is already tagged.
Trigger, the problem is, for Crystal, it's not a great place to stand. He's picked a bit of an off-angle corner, but again, timing is everything. Like Primi could have gone in any direction, and it just depends if he looks at the right way. But Primi not checking initially, but then will turn back around.
He's gone for the rifle.
Again, early slow. Knowing that there's weaker weapons, they want to try and deny that control. I like the re-pressure, but there was a player waiting further back with a paranoia on the attack, just to make sure that his teammates were covered. And has been spotted. Autumn, one of the rifles under serious pressure. You're just going to have to try and play within the utility, and after you get seized, there's nowhere to go. They even expect Yudoton flanking. Of course, risks are going to be taken in this sort of round, and a rifle left behind, but they will hold on strong. But he has to get, not even maybe just one, even two if he doesn't get Jit Boys as a res. So it really is, he has to just go ham here, and they already know he's there. Primi sent him first, head ripped off, and now the rest are just scrambling to try and get into position.
Yeah, they've cleared the site, not even a shot fired towards Primi. They know that they've got control. Plant needs to come through, and it will. Going towards default, Heaven control held to allow that to happen.
Spike planted.
And again, GE now facing into a 2v5. Well, they saved in the 4v5 when money was low. Now money's a little bit better than it was by a couple hundred credits. And they're in a 2v5. The call is to save. But this time, Full Sense say, you know what, we've got a little bit of extra cash in the bank, and we've got a couple orbs missing as well. So why not send out at least Cruz to try to catch them? Kahlua wants to get in on the action as well. So there's no way to get out of this A site now, and the walls will slowly close in on them. Crystal's already down. They know exactly where the last man is, and Autumn's on 10.
Res for either side, a lot of ults.
Shadows traveling.
Building up. Full Sense to play with, and after what has been a lot of A hits in a row, it seems like they're going for B.
Yeah, the B play going through. Late lurk attempted by Cruz, wants to get into that pit, and he's chosen his time just right. Those players in main don't need to push out anymore. They want to rely on this space taken by Cruz. He's used the pit as a smoke to cross into vents. That's a big problem now. Full Sense are going to re-gear up for this A hit. And on GE, you have to know it's a possibility. You can see how cautious they're being in re-clearing into Heaven. They're even putting the boombot through. Don't think it's going to make it to clear Cruz, though. They could see where it went, but if that information has slipped by, they're in big trouble, and indeed it has. Yudoton's being caught completely unaware. Jit Boys sees them on the backside. They know exactly where they are. And moments later, the round is done. 13-9. Full Sense started slow in both halves, but my God, they showed up in the buy round. Full Sense, though, that Neon was not working, and now it's on GE to make it work with Yudoton, who had a bit of a tough previous map.
Yeah, for sure. I think he has a tough map quite often when he plays against Full Sense, but we'll have to see if that's a running theme. Already, though, a better start. Pistol round, Primi to trade. Kahlua waiting on the angle, but it's Primi once again, a one-man army that somehow still seems to be alive, but they are trading out everybody else. They just can't kill Primi. It's been the issue throughout the entirety of this so far. Now the rotation looks to come in from Cruz. Crystal again in a pistol round clutch to try and bring it home, and of course, who else but Primi
to make things work. But with Primi, I got nothing, man. He is just unbelievable every time he's tested. He comes in like he's been studying all week for it. That might run that clock down a little more, but will at least give an orb over to Crystal. And as they chip away at that wall, it's very obvious to Full Sense where the play is coming through. Chance for the Blade Storm. For Primi, Jit Boys has taken all of his kills, but there it is, Yudoton left it. Oh, come on, he's styling Primi!
Guys who used to do like 360 no-scope montages, except he's just doing it on the master stage. It's just filthy. Like, it's going to be so depressing being on the other side of watching.
Oh, mid-fight for GE. Same thing for Full Sense. Paranoia is primed and ready. This is going to be a big swing off contact. And that contact's about to come through. Maybe now it's a little bit closer than expected. They are right at the door. No time for Paranoia anymore. Drones already spotted.
Down mid.
He only wanted to take down the man in the drone, and instead he got the whole pack. Yudoton is the last man standing, and not for long.
As much of a shock for him as it was for everybody else, but Autumn not connecting, and then everybody else just not quite quick enough on the reaction.
Sense still primed for an aggressive spot, and I like that they've given it up after a couple of seconds. This was the danger, right? If those pistols just come swinging out. Now Kahlua is in danger. Rifle picked up. Jip Boys. Oh, it's nice. Two taken down. Udaton, the main one. That's the ult gone out of the round. Leviathan, though, doesn't expect the late flank to be coming up right behind him. So Patman gets a freebie. It's a round from Full Sense where they're up against next to nothing. They go pushing. They give aggressive fights. GE, and well, the round's not lost just yet, especially not with Primi sitting on the site. But he's in a very uncomfortable spot with this operator.
Yeah, that dash is about to go, but speaking of uncomfortable, the plant position open to main. Cruz has been making this push a couple of times, so much so that all of the recursion. How is he still alive? He should have been dead to rights, but the pistol of Patman not so kind. Back to a 2v2 scenario. Hunter's Fury available, but you don't finish this man off, and he will punish you for it. Crystal left in a clutch. Hunter's Fury in a 1v2 would be a gamble. He'd need one of these kills first, and any sort of cross could be his instant demise. A shock dart would be enough, but it's not quite gone anywhere near, and Cruz, a big round from him individually.
Around every shot fired his way. It's a Pulp Fiction scene in the main, and then when they go back to finish off their meal,
as well.
Buy for GE is not great. The chances looking fantastic for Full Sense. They've given a gap in the wall. This is a sneaky play. They've been conditioning GE, and this time the wall is that little bit further. They slip through it and move to the B site, catching the rotations, leaving Javi completely isolated. The wall doesn't last a second, and Javi lasts even less. Oh, Crystal! He's giving them a chance. A 3v3 now from a round that looked lost moments ago. Gee, are back in contention. And I like that Autumn's not taking more fights, but a kill there would have given them favor.
At least they managed to keep the players with the weaponry, but Primi's timing here could be everything. One player looking away, the drone being sent through, and that one's for free. And he's not being greedy with it either. We talk about this man and his ability to run it down to disrespect opponents, but in this case, he knows how important these rounds are. They are not in a massive lead, but in the round, they most certainly are. Patman to try and face versus 3 for him. Credits actually very low.
To buy that little bit of extra time now as they look for the plant. Leviathan knows there's an op on the other side, but they don't seem to care. They're swinging into it. They're looking for the fight up against Autumn. Confidence on display. So close to finding the pickup, and in fact, Leviathan so close in the end.
Not kill my ally.
Seemingly a death blow.
Taking all this space on B. Full control of B main. And all from behind, but Cruz has caught Patman. Even with all that B information, they go for aggro on mid. And that's why the crunch has at least traded it out.
It's taken out. Their Viper as well. Crossing into this site now becomes so much more difficult. Instead, they have to fight it. They have to go aggressively. Primi's going to be brought back, and he just about survives the shock dart. It's not quite going to finish him off. However, Udotan on the flank will, looking for a little bit more. Overdrive, maybe there to close out this map. Only one standing. Primi finding 2. He's got to feel hard done by that he ends up in a 1vx situation at the end. Leviathan, there's no way out of that. Even getting hit by the Outlaw. It seems like G are just playing with the rotations. They've got that opening kill, and then they're just going back the other way.
Well, especially when you go this way and you don't see any of that utility from Vice. So at this point, you know that Vice is probably set up on A. You've picked B, you've opened it up. They're going to over-rotate. Now the noise is being made on A, trying to make them think about going back in the other direction. But those steps are heard. They've just heard a lot of them drop down, and Udaton swung into the wall. A shot from Autumn, and he follows it up with another.
Oh,
But Cruz answering.
On the other side.
This is far from a one round.
I think both teams are kind of lost as to where the other is going. You can see the defenders having to try and fight both sides of the map. It feels like it could have been a bit more simple, but G have been trying to push and pull, and well, they're going to push straight into another Autumn. Another superb round for him, but it's on to Cruz. He's managed to dodge the running back. He's just going to go in towards it, and it's going to get him just as he comes back into position. A Red Bull clutch of sorts for Cruz.
Finding a third as well, but in the end, great read by Cruz on the A site. Guess where GE are? And they've just heard at least two, I think three, pushing up on A. Immediate response, go to B. They probably even assume they're walking into the Vice setup, but Full Send's four-man push where their Vice setup is. So this site is done. No defense. It's all for GE in the post plan.
And well, if you can't tell by the scoreline, those have gone pretty well already. Clue has done well. This time trading much more effectively, and it's going to be left to Crystal. He's in no man's land, still in middle. An opportunity for them to get towards the spike, already looking to try and shroud his vision, but he looks to try and run through, stuck in the mud. Already that defusal is going all the way. I don't think he can stop it this time. At least a semblance of hope. A final round being picked up by Full Sense, but Mitch, they are so far behind.
They are miles behind with 2 rounds in the first half. It seems like Full Sense may be close to booking their flights back home. GE leading 10-2. It's time for the halftime break. But
coming in, an opportunity to almost just spam that SMG and
falling behind them, Patman.
Ooh, he's just about going to survive. That's a really good combination coming out of the attack, but it doesn't get quite as much as they would have hoped for. Bit of damage, all being retrieved. The defense obviously not taking any chances with their own buy. Definitely having information of this split.
Flash out for Autumn. Oh, unfortunately, Primy's already gone in. He's taken it inside the Cloudburst and now found a Spectre for another. Udaton holds on to control of A main. Yeah, it takes away any sort of comfort ground for Full Sense. Instead, they have to fight for ground elsewhere. Space taken towards the defender spawn to jump into the window. Spotted. Javi won't get the kill, though. A lot of success for Full Sense in the force buy, and it seems like they've done just enough. They've come online.
I think maybe a little bit earlier, because I do think that we've already seen, and then I think they only got 1 round on their defense. And that wasn't because it's a particularly bad map for them, it's just that they started getting in their own heads, taking too many risks.
8 in a row to stay alive at Masters London.
Yeah, not even till we
Wow! Okay. Nice start.
Yeah, good read, but
not a
immediate response. Crystal has been phenomenal. Oh, it's a push through! Udaton wants to end it here, but he'll trade for his life. 2 kills found. Blade Storm was picked up by Primy. It puts them into an even scenario. Patman already on a fast flank. There's no utility to stop him at this stage, but the positions, at least for now, are good from the attack.
There's still a lot of time for GE to work with. Patman slowly making his way down long. Soon the Nightfall can go in. This is the time to put it through. Prowler starts, sees one in the corner. Okay, no, now we're just going to launch straight in, but Primy has bailed them out again.
Spike down B.
Be fast.
1 enemy remaining.
Him having a Blade Storm just feels like a cheat code.
London, the send home. Team that finished above them.
Well, they also didn't throw in Patman's ult. They still have plenty to play with. Looking like a more direct play off the back of the running back. Where you can see the defenders are just trying to avoid it. Sitting all the way back. Is there enough time for him to find anything? No. Instead, Primy still in position. Weaponry about to be taken away at least from 1. Autumn just waiting on the other side of it, a little bit risky, but didn't want to be caught running across. They're really trying to play ahead of this retake, but they got to be careful. The swing through only gets 1. But now the lockdown can be put into play. A more passive post plant will have to be taken here.
Yeah, they'd already used their Phoenix utility, so no chance to burn that lockdown alive. And now in goes the Cosmic Divide, locked out. They've got to start making a move. These players could already be on it, but in goes the Molly. That's bought a little bit more time. Crystal from the top rope. He's looking to swing through, but the spam full blind and he can't get the line. And Primy slipped right past. Full Sense have found another.
That total to go up to 8.
1 enemy remaining.
But the one thing I said in the last round was, hey, at least they didn't use all those ultimates up. Well, Mitch, they have now. Everything is offline. And you can hear from their own comms that they're starting to believe in this comeback. It is the perfect time in my
Full
mind.
sense of giving it up. Prowler confirms someone's still around. Art's going to keep numbers from GE towards this A site. Full sense are hitting the lighter side of the map. They do still have to go through Killjoy utility, but the way they're going, they're bypassing it all. All they have to do now is deal with Javi, deal with Crystal, but that's been easier said than done at times. Oh! The grab well was sent in! The stun as well, and Crystal's found himself too in the choke. Cruz, try as he might, he doesn't stand a chance, and now it all falls apart for Full Sense with a flawless round. Global Esports send home regional rivals, and it takes.